That was a nice little reveal. Whoa. Awkward dismount, but nice reveal. Hey there. Today is day 27. How about that? We're just trucking right along here, aren't we? Doing a simple post today. I had something much more elaborate in mind. But I got some sad news today. And I've been pretty much crying all day. I'm not going to go into it too much because it's just intricate and complicated, and I don't know who knows and who doesn't, and obviously I try to keep most things pretty anonymous unless I talk to people about them, but found out that a beautiful woman with one of the brightest smiles I've ever seen in my whole life decided to leave the earth on purpose. A choice that far too many people I know have made. I actually left acting. I left the stage for about 3 years after 4 of my close friends made that same choice. And even something as silly as like opening up this umbrella that I haven't looked at in a little while, looking at the colors of it and the vibrance of it, just that made me think how cool it is to be alive. I know that sounds kind of like a Hallmark card, you know? I'm not trying to sound sappy. I'm being sincere. But really, like, it is brutal. It is so hard. I had so many uncomfortable feelings just even talking to friends of that friend. So much discomfort in my own experience, in my own grief, talking, simple things, just trying to talk about anything. I feel tripped up sometimes. And I've had such a beautiful couple of days of like acknowledgement, people acknowledging me, telling me to keep going. So today was not that. It was hard. So I just like looked at a bunch of pictures from the past, and I don't know, and I thought about that too, how you may think that someone knows what you think of them, but maybe you should just call them up and tell them, just in case. Because it's like the best laid plans. We make these lists, we make these agendas, we make these great big escapes in our mind with people, how we're going to get back to them, and we're going to have reunions, and we're going to talk about all the things we did, and we're going to laugh. And all of a sudden, a couple years can go by, 5 years can go by, 11 years can go by, 15, 20, on and on. I mean, the time is definitely on its own kick. It's on its own jag. It's doing its own thing. And the most striking thing I thought about this person today was just their smile. My gosh, it was radiant. It was just better than everybody else's smile. And, you know, so of course now I feel pretty bad. Like I missed a pretty good opportunity. The times that I thought that, to just say that. I'm not saying that would have made a difference or changed the trajectory, but I try to do that. I try when I see someone smile, when I see something rare in someone, I try to point it out, because you may think they know, but maybe they don't know, or maybe they forgot, or maybe they've talked themselves out of their own beauty or their own wonderment or their own brightness. I know I have before, and people could look at me and look at me walking down the street in my cool outfits and my jazzy self and my glitter and my persona and think, she's fine. But there's been so many times that I was not fine. So, yeah, I'm just finding it hard to talk. I'm finding it hard to be. I'm finding the image of my own face strange in a strange world. It's all just very perspective, waves, time, missed chances, missed moments, the moments that did occur, and how beautiful that was, and how I wish I could find all the pictures, and I can't find some of them, and what we have is life, and what we have is so precious. And I know people say that, Lifetime movies say that, you've heard that, everybody's heard that, it's precious, but like, more than money, more than gems, more than fame, more than likes, more than hearts, more than followers, more than any accolades, just life. And there's so much fear in me about the ways that can be taken, about this threat that's all around us right now. And it's hard to have that same kind of mentality of like, oh, well, this tragic thing just happened, I better go seize the day. When you can't really seize it, you just have to sort of think about it and pine for it and wish for it. And you can do it like this. You can, if you're smart, if you're considerate of others, you should do it like this, seizing the day in your living room, set up like a beach. I talked to a very careless person the other day too, and I'm not even going to get into that, but it just showed me that there is a huge chunk of people being extremely careless about this whole situation that we're in, and not looking out for other people at all, not even halfway considering it. So it's crazy, just all of those perspectives. But yeah, it just, every piece that I have, every piece of writing, every poem just seemed wrong and silly and trite, and all these things I'm angry about, weaving them into like clever rhymes just felt like it was missing the mark, and there was like nothing that I could say, nothing that I could do. You know that feeling, just like you want to just hold the whole thing in your hands, and you can't even get like a grain of sand of it. You can't control it at all. Yeah, so all of my work, all of my word weaving and my word worship just seemed to fall very short in the face of this day. But I found a piece that I'm going to share with you that seemed about as close as I could get, and I wanted to try to write something new and now and about this person and about that particular moment, but I'm going to be real with you, it felt like too big a task at this current moment. It hurt my head to try to do it justice. So what I did is I found a poem from the time frame that I was around this person, and definitely my favorite or most distinct memory of being around them was a day at the beach. And when you're living in LA, you know that feeling of like, God, this sucks, and you just can't escape anything, but then you finally get to the beach with some friends, and you have those hilarious people around you to sing and play guitar and dig their toes in and be silly and wrap seaweed around themselves, and everything changes. The air changes, the life in you changes, the colors are more vibrant, everything fits and makes so much more sense than when you're out in the grind and the hustle and the swirl and the am I good enough and the gotta get to the audition and gotta prove it to this person and gotta prove it to that person, and is this person even my friend? All of that kind of trickles away when people are just in their bright, hot pinks and stripes and silly sunglasses. And obviously now that day means something totally different to me than it did before. Before it was just like a bright patch in that dingy kind of sprawl of the Los Angeles hardships. And now it's obviously more of a treasure that I have to put somewhere safe. But yeah, so I wrote this around the same time. It's not about that exact particular day. It's actually about a day that I was feeling very depressed and nothing was lining up, and I took myself to the beach. I'm not much good at going anywhere by myself. I actually really hate it. I get very panicky. And this particular year, I made this decision, this vow, this goal to date myself. I was never taken on a proper, real date. Like, this is for you, Teal, and I have it all planned out, and I'm gonna take the reins. I'd never been taken on a date until I was in my 30s, which is crazy. But this particular time frame in my early 20s, back when I thought I knew what like physical pain and stress were, I mean I did, but not like I know now, unfortunately. But I decided to date myself, and it was a great time. I took myself to movies, I took myself out to eat. I just wooed myself like crazy, and it was quite nice, actually. And I mean, I'm not even trying to be funny or cute, but it was like I didn't even really know myself outside myself before that, if that makes sense. Like, I had never really taken the time to sit across from myself, proverbially, of course. I'm not that crazy. I mean, I'm pretty crazy, but, I had never taken that time to, like, sit across from myself and be like, hey, what's up, self? What's going on with you? What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What do you want? What do you think of this? What should we order? And it was nice. It was nice getting to know myself in that way. But this day, the heavy was pretty heavy, and I got kind of lifted out of it just by the story being told around me on the beach. And I feel like it's always like that when you find yourself there, when you get there, when you finally get a place to park and you get through the garbage and the people, and you finally make it to your little spot in the sand. The plot changes. It all shifts. And I do miss it. I certainly do miss it. Sometimes it doesn't work out that way, though. The friend I talked to actually today who delivered this very sad news, it's funny, her and I, one of the last times I remember trying to go to the beach in LA, she and I had just been bogged down by work and toil and trouble and shuffle, and we both just needed some whimsy, and we this is my fairy friend, we're both fairies, and we loaded up, you gotta get all the gear, and you gotta pack the lunchbox, and you gotta get the towels, and you gotta have all the stuff with you, and we're both the kind of people that will bring like 19 to 50 things that we don't necessarily need, but like maybe we might need them. You don't know, so you got to bring them anyway. So we had all that stuff with us, and get to the beach, get the parking spot, get out there, and we even drove like way farther than we had gone before to try to get to one of the like nicer areas away from people, kind of. And we get out to the beach, and it's so whimsy, it's gonna be great. And we both got oil all over our feet, like tar, thick, horrible oil spill, pollutant oil. And we had to go back to the house I was staying at and like soak our feet in disgusting things and help each other like use toothbrushes to scrub the oil off. So sometimes it'd be like that too. Sometimes it's like you want that beauty and you just want the plot to shift so bad and you get your feet full of oil. So it's not always the tone shift that you're looking for, but when it is, it's really special. So yeah, I'm just doing a little nod to that this evening, and forgive me for having pretty low energy for me, but my head has not been in the greatest place today. But yeah, this towel that I am on is in fact the towel from the poem. It refers to a very specific towel, and this is the one. I still have it. It's still with me, and I think that's special. I like that. I like when you memorialize something, commemorate something, and you look back and read it and realize, oh, I still have that thing. I still care about that thing. So yeah, often I try to write my poem on a huge whiteboard so that I look very professional reading it off the screen, or I try to have it memorized. But today we're going notebook, guys. We're going for the old pen to paper. Because yeah, I needed just a little easy button this evening. So yeah, this one is for the angel with the beautiful smile. It's called My Towel Matches the Circus Tent. And I gotta throw that part into the story too, that there was they were setting up a Cirque du Soleil tent throughout all this as I sat by my lonesome on my little towel, and it was this exact color scheme, this white and yellow billowing off in the distance, and I thought that was so special. It was just like a private little cosmic moment for me. So yeah, my towel matches the circus tent. Wandered the beach today with a bright new cherry coat on my head, men gaping at my strength, the sharp teeth hungrier for the maidens thinking of love. The California sardine people stuffed side by side, trying to hold the heart of a Saturday. Fat little children rolling down sand hills, strong Mexican boys tugging shamelessly at the bikini strings of curvaceous Latina ladies. Oh, to be as luscious as they. Helicopters and sing-song salutes 20 feet away. A couple makes a memory inside a photo booth nearby. I gather 2 white feathers, and a tiny lass in frilly pink polka dots points and giggles at my treasure hunt. A red-headed freckled boy smiles a great smile at me, assuming that my ginger locks are real. All the ways we try to grasp at one another, as we sand slip into layer cake creation. Seagulls stir up small storms in an anarchist's war for potato chip crumbs. A woman snapping shadows in a long velvet dress. A vampire among the scantily clad wave worshippers. Men in Speedos glow at the cheeks with pride. Masterpiece beach bucket castles laid to waste. Such great riches sprawling to heaps of longing. Hyped up hills through foggy toxins. Women scream to each other in many languages as the waves catch them off guard. A lady with a giant tummy is joyous in her silver sombrero. I puffed a pinch beneath the boardwalk. Secret lovers, silly girls, a man with a surfboard and an M.O. People with none and some and plenty of dough. Magazine shoot with a hip cat and a rope and a sailor girl. I make my way through the festooning, booming plank called the pier. Shouts and jeers, winks and eyebrow arcs. Twin Indian princesses shoot sparks from their lotus looks. I go upward to take myself on a date, soaring round the magic fairies wheel. But wouldn't you know it, it's against the law to ride that wheel of daydream baskets alone in the state of California. Guess it means I should have you with me today. To dig out quarters for 10 spins above the boastful ocean. I intended to think of you at the very top and all the space between. So instead, I lived the scene in my mind on the way back through human find and seek. Gave a man with one leg the scavenged silver meant for my air trip. He could barely speak his thank you as I went gliding, lucky, down the path. Thrifty grifters, hopped up jacks in corners, boys with blonde eyelashes, mad dashes, flashes in the pan, writing while walking up the parking lot stairs. All's fairs and circus tents. Hell bent as we are, still just a blot on the map. The stenographers should still include those lurking dragon traps. Just hugging y'all. That's what I've got for you today. I so appreciate you listening to my heart, feeding my heart, being next to my heart in all these hardships. I'm going to keep it beating. I'm going to keep believing in the reasons that life is beautiful. And colors, and children, and Ferris wheels. There's so much to feel. So feel it if you can. You can feel it sitting right where you are. I promise. You can feel it looking at the stars. You can feel it looking at the person next to you. You don't have to go on fancy vacations or hop on a social media platform or get in your car. You don't have to go far. It's right where you are. Treasure it.